Okay, hi everyone. My name is Carrie Morgan and I'm here with Bridget. So we are going to be talking about healing. She is a shamanic healer, and I'm going to let her introduce herself just in case so I don't screw anything up here. But my name is Carrie Morgan. I am your holistic lifestyle mentor. And this session today, we are going to be talking about opportunities on raising your vibration, right? What we want to do is get out of that mindset of lack and fear and into ourself, into our truth, but into our power. We were put on this planet for a reason, right? We're here to remember our internal healing abilities and for us to shift into our truth. So I'm going to let Bridget go right now and talk about and introduce herself.
Thank you. Hello, Carrie. I love your music in the background. It's very calming and soothing. It's nice. Hello, everyone. My name is Brighid Murphy. I am a shamanic healer, mentor, and teacher, and I help next generation leaders and healers step into their roles of service on the planet. That's the short version.
Yeah, awesome. That's cool. That's totally fine. Totally understand. Love that. We this opportunity we have right now in our life is amazing. And I think a lot of people have been waking up to the fact that we can mold anything we want into our life right now. We can literally switch anything that we want to do out of the old story and into the new blueprint or the new lifestyle that you want to create. So, how do you help people shift their energy and shift their mindset in your process? If you want to go into a quick demo of
Absolutely.
something.
Absolutely. And you are, Carrie, you are so right on. So many people right now are focused on the chaos that's happening. And inside that chaos or alongside that chaos, there is an incredible opportunity to cut through and open up the reality that we want. And the way that I do that is through letting people know that they have the power and the ability and teaching them how to tap into their power so that they can create the reality that they want. There's a variety of techniques that I utilize to help people. Part of what I do is teach people how to connect with the higher power, which I call spirit. Some people might call God or creator. Teach people how to tap into that energy so that so much more is possible because we're opening up into the possibility of all that is with the help of an energy that knows so much more than we do.
Yes, that's a good point. So let me just make sure because the what's playing behind me is Spirit Tribe, I like to say, and it's usually it's on YouTube, but it's 528 hertz. So that is a healing vibration. So I like to just have that in the background just to soothe so that other people too that are listening can learn how to shift their energy, right? And energy is huge. So I'm so just really glad that you mentioned that. And we forget that we think we are just this physical being, but we're actually an energetic being in a physical world. So when we shift our mindset, we can definitely start to move our thoughts, but also get our habits. Like, say, if you had a bad habit, it will shift into a good habit a little bit better, right? Is that what the whole idea of energy is?
Absolutely. We have and I think first it's important to share that we are in a reality that we participate in. And there are some things out in the world that are happening that we can't directly change. And we can directly change what's happening within our own reality. So we have the ability to do that. We have the ability to work with time in a different way. We have ability to pull in healing and helping forces and to shift our own personal reality, which includes energy. So yeah, we can change pretty much anything that we choose to change once we work with, you had said creating a new story, but I call Well, not but I talk about things in terms of agreements. We make agreements to certain things being real. We agree that we're running out of time, that we don't have enough time. We agree that we're going to stay sick. We agree to an old story or an old reality, and we can upgrade those agreements, and then our life follows suit, and our choices can follow those new agreements.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it. I really like seeing other people's perspective, but having an agreement because you're agreeing to be comfortable, right? So you
Yes.
choose to stay there, right? That is a really good, I really like that. And so if I came to you, how do you help people shift their paradigm? So let's explain, like a paradigm is almost like a story someone has told you, right? And you've been living that story. That's kind of what's happening right now, right? Everyone's living a story that has been brought down from generation to generation, a story of how you're supposed to live your life. And a paradigm is actually where you're at, almost like a download. Like, and to make sure that I'm clear on this, I was just looking at my apps and I'm like, how are they wanting me to install another upgrade already? I just, made my app so it would work. It's like every 3 months, they're like, oh, change this so that it can work faster. But we don't do that to ourselves, right? So, how do you help? Because I know that do people come and have to sit in the tent? You know what I mean? Like, people are afraid. Like, how is it that you can relate what you do so that people aren't afraid? Because when this is an ancestral type of healing that you do, that's been around for a long time, but some people are still afraid of it and some people don't know what it is. So if you can just get a little bit deeper on like a step process on how do you do it over the phone, do they have to be in person, just so that we can expand people's mindsets around this.
Absolutely. One of the gifts that I've been given is to bring information through in a way that doesn't scare people, in a way that people can understand. I started shamanic practice over 20 years ago. I met my teachers and have been slowly and steadily developing a relationship with my own healing and helping guides and spirits. And so the way that I work with someone is I first have a conversation with them about what it is that they want to do in their life. And then we come up with a plan for how they're going to get there. As part of that plan, I open up space very intentionally with utilizing the technology of drums and rattles. And we open up the space and I ask Spirit to show me what's going to be the most helpful for this person in alignment with where they want to go. And that gives me the what I call the bird's eye view. I will get information that shows what a person needs to do on a soul level, on an ancestral level, on an emotional level, on all levels to get them that where they want to go. And so then I bring that information through with the guidance of my helping spirits. Shamanic practice is always done in alignment with the spirit world. It's never just like, oh, a person decides they want to do something. It doesn't work that way. So I bring my healing and helping spirits, I make that connection, and I bring information through according to them. And from there, they will share with me what needs to happen to bring a person into alignment with their goal. So sometimes that means there are energies that are in their field that we need to extract, and I'm trained how to do that. And sometimes there's trauma that has occurred that has caused a fragmentation of the energy to occur. And that may have happened 25 years ago. It may have happened, 2 years ago. When there's a fragmentation of energy, we don't have all of our power and we can't make great decisions. It's easy for us to get pulled and swayed in different directions. So there is a process that a lot of people know as soul retrieval that shamanic healers do to bring back fragmented energy parts so that you have all of your energy with you. Those are I would say, two of the main techniques that I commonly help people with. And there's more, but I'll stop because I could really get going.
No, no, I love it. I love just the way that you said it. And people definitely need to understand this process because people are blaming their self, right? I feel like a lot of people blame their self. Oh my God, it's all me. Why can't I figure this out? Why is, and that really brings people in depression. And most of the depression is just you not loving yourself for enough or not realizing it's not your fault. And so mostly what you're saying, like you help heal the aura, the field of aura or the energy of the aura, correct? Or you're definitely tapping into we all have guides, right? So let's make sure I put that out there. Guides are your spiritual beings that are guiding you through life, and she connects to them and helps you heal. Is that
Mhm.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I utilize my connection with my guides, and I also help people to connect with their own guides. The thing about shamanic healing is that it's a whole focuses on the whole being. And in order for a being to be well, a person to be well, they need to be intact. Need to have their power and their energy here in the present. And they also need to know how to make their own connections with whatever you want to call it, spirit, the guides, creator. That is something that's really lacking today in our world. And so in addition to doing healing work and helping people to get where they want to be, I introduce a way for them to connect with spirit so they're tapped in and can have that help them move forward versus having to listen to what everybody else is telling them or versus being lost and not knowing what to do. So shamanic practice helps people to get in their power and then stay in their power so they can move forward.
Yeah, that's very important, this staying in the power, right? Because, and how I try to explain it by being cautious, but we've been reacting all the time. Like everything we do is a reaction. That's why just recently I may have posted, but I turned off every notification on my phone. I don't want to be training my mind anymore to react to anything, right? So I was just like, why am I still reacting to these notifications? Because like I'm from the old school where if you had to make a phone call, you had to go and get that phone off the wall, or you had to go to the payphone, and wait for someone to call you back. And so what I have found just by doing my own work is these cell phones are kind of making us dumb. They may be smart, but they're making us dumb. So, and I did this little trick. This may help some people. I literally don't put anyone's name in my phone. I just put their number in. So then that way I will remember their number and I will not forget their number, because what if you lose your phone? Then you're like, oh my God, I don't know their number. People don't even remember numbers anymore. Like, and we used to be trained, like that was a part of our brain that helped us to remember things. This is making us not remember. But what if, phones all died and then you wouldn't have anyone's number? So keeping your power can be a small something like that, but that will empower you to move on. So Brighid, like let's talk about like some things that may be going on right now. Like people are having one of these days where everything's going wrong. You're in your house, your kids are there, you have work to do, and it's just like, whoa, how can we bring people back? Is there a certain like little trick that we can use that bring people back into the present, like a trigger word or something that will keep them, to teach them how to gain their present moment again and be in their power?
Yeah, and I think before I share this, I want to say that this requires practice. We might think we're not good at something, and we might think, "Oh, I can't do this." But really, if you just practice a little bit at a time, that practice grows, and before you know it, you can bring your focus back into your power pretty easily. So first thing that I recommend is that everyone realizes that right here, they're a physical body and they're an energetic body, and that this here is my show. Just like you right there, that's your show. I run my show. I get to choose where my thoughts are going and what I'm giving my energy to. And if I feel like I'm running around like all over the place, it's my responsibility to say I'm running around all over the place, to take a breath and remember, okay, this is my show. My energy is probably way out there. Let me take a breath and just bring it in. And you can bring your energetic field in close to you. Right now, I just did it with so that you have your little bubble more intact. We allow our energy to go out and it's feeling everything and we're like kind of become beholden to all the people around us. Breathe, bring the energy in, and then remember or introduce the idea that you can change your relationship with time. So what I do is I take a breath, I bring my energy in, and I remind myself this is my show, and I'm going to expand time right now. And then to follow up that direction I just gave myself, I breathe slower, I talk slower, and I walk slower. So I slow everything down, and then I get on a different track, and I can shift things in 60 seconds. You can too. Anybody can do it. No one ever really tells us, hey, you know what? This time that you're beholden to is an illusion, and you can change your agreement with it. Now, anybody who's watching this, you know that you can change your agreement with time, change your relationship to it, and get it back on your side where it belongs. Stop, breathe, bring your energy in. Remember that you run the show.
That
That would
is
be,
just, go ahead.
yeah, that would be my first suggestion on wrangling your energy.
No, that's awesome. I'm so excited. I'm like so exciting. I'm excited because when, people that are listening that have done the work, it's clicking again. You know what I mean? Maybe they
Yes.
lost their way just due to everything that's going on. And even me, like, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I'm like, wow, yes, because I've done that work. And I think it's going to relate a lot more to people right now because people are waking up and they're like, what day is it today? You know what I mean? Like they don't even remember, like it's almost like time is lapsing and they're like, time's going by so fast and they have to check into what day it is because they're so used to being, in this like robotic type mindset right now. But to understand that time is what you claim it to be, because I used to be like, oh my God, I'm gonna be late. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, stop it. Like, you're gonna be on time. Just claim it and own it and go. And then when I did that, I would be there right on the right time. You know what I mean? Even though I thought I was going to be late, but I shifted out of that. And I think we're so used to doubting our energy and doubting what's going on around us. But that was a good point to just claim it, own it, and come back into your energy. And it's very simple. People just think that that's hard, but once you practice, like you said, it does get very, very simple. So, and I love that. We're just going to tap into like bringing our energy around abundance and wealth, and what would be a great tool to do for that, because I know this fear mentality of how am I going to pay my bills, how am I going to do this, is very rampant right now. And maybe this is a time for people, like we said, to shift and figure out how we can think better so that the end of 2020 feels better for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let you go and dive
And
in.
I'll tell you, one of the things I love about shamanic practice is it's pretty simple, but its roots are deep. Part of shamanic practice is creating relationships. We create relationships with the natural world. We create relationships with the spirit world. We create relationship with the plants. We create relationship with the animals. We create a relationship with our own soul. And so money is an energy. Money is an energy, and it is another thing that we can create a relationship with. So look at what kind of relationship we have with money right now. When you approach money, what are your thoughts about it? When you pay bills, what are your thoughts about it? When you hold money, are you thinking, I need to hang on to this because I'm not going to have more? Or are you thinking, wow, like I'm really grateful that I have this and this energy is going to keep flowing. Taking a look at what our current story and agreement is in relationship to money is key. And then first, deciding like, okay, I'm going to change my relationship to it. I'm going to change my relationship to it. And then start communicating with the money in a bit of a different way. really grateful that I have.
That is awesome.
That's where I would start. So in my world, we have, I set up a sacred table, or what some people would call an altar, where everything that is sacred to me goes in that space. And so I have money on my altar, because if I have money on my altar, it is making a statement that says, I hold you as sacred. I'm not going to be at war with you. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to be resentful. I'm going to hold you as sacred. And so that's a way that I communicate with money in a different way.
Yes, that's good. Because most people were raised, money is the root of all evil, and all these other types of thoughts that just subconsciously go into our body, and then we don't show up. But I think, like you said, money is energy, like anything else, and that connection with money should start with our self-worth. When we start to feel good about ourselves too, does that help attract more wealth to us by the way we think, and, shifting out of our lack of the negative thoughts, I mean, more or less.
I think that it does. And I think whenever the topic of money comes up, so I'm a realist, right? I have this thing about me where I talk to spirit, but I'm also rooted in the earth. And I recognize like a lot of the systemic problems that we have on the earth, which I'm not going to solve on my own, have to do, like, the systemic problems that we have on the earth are bigger than me. And a lot of them have to do with money, who gets money, how it's distributed, who makes more or less. Like, all of that is some deep stuff that I think really needs to be looked at and addressed and honored as we do any sort of transformative work around money, because there are universal truths around money that are affecting people's ability to make more money, and that's got to be recognized. So that piece needs to be considered as we do this mindset work around money. And so, yes, given all of that and understanding all of that for me is important. And the way that we look at money and the way that we think about it and what we feel like we are worthy of makes a big, big difference in what we're able to bring in.
Yeah, and I'm just glad we tapped in just a little bit for that, because I think mostly right now everyone is searching online. How can I make more money? How can I do this? And and it's also it's coming from a place of scarcity, right? It's not
Yeah.
coming from a place of a wealth mindset of helping people. So when you're like reaching and chasing, sometimes it gets further away. But what you do is amazing, because it helps you be present so that you can receive. And I think that money is always around us all the time, but we don't sit there to receive and allow our bodies to receive. So what's a good way that maybe you do a little ritual or something that you do every day to set your mindset up to be able to receive the wealth that is due to you, or that you're worth? Because we're all worth a certain amount of what we believe, but it could be a little bit higher. Maybe we saw something and then we rejected it. So that means we lost money because we weren't open to receive. So how can we open up our energy a little bit more to allow that wealth?
Yeah. Yes, and I know you do a lot of work around changing our mindset towards money. It's powerful work and it's so necessary, because people don't realize that the thoughts that they're thinking and sending out towards the universe and money are closing them off from bringing energy in. So, good question. Uh, being so there's an emotional aspect to the work that I do, a psychic aspect, a physical aspect. And one of the well, I think it's easiest ways to start to open the channels to receive is to literally open your hands, because
Okay.
that always puts you in a receptive place. Take a deep breath and send some roots into the earth, because the earth is abundant and the earth is life-giving. It is always offering opportunities for growth. So tapping in by sending some roots down into the earth is the first piece. And opening the palms and talking to Spirit, God, Creator, the life force, and saying, thank you. Thank you for guiding my day. I am open to receiving your support.
Yay.
So that is a piece that looks at the whole picture, because when we welcome Spirit, Creator in, the whole show is going to go a lot better. And from there, that opens the channels to receive. And then we can receive money, and then we can receive better friendships, and then we can receive better business offers. When our baseline is opening to receive from Spirit in general. That would be my quick suggestion on how to start the day every day.
Yeah, that's definitely good because I feel like a disciplined mind right now is definitely going to help because I have worked at home for a long time with my husband and my child. So I know how to work at home and still do things. A lot of people don't. Like in a matter of 24 hours, they became a teacher, they became a wife, they became a stay-at-home mom, and have to still work in their business all in a matter of minutes practically, right? You wake up and everything changed. So that's a lot emotionally to take in. What could be like a good way to keep our emotional energy at a level of being okay with this life shift, I'll call it.
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
like to say uncertainty, because everything, depending on how you feel, you can shift into whatever you need to, right? I mean, we've done it over the years. I mean, if we've never changed, we would all still be riding horses, right? So let's be real. We had cars, and we came a long way. And that was because our mind, we've seen a different way, we've seen a better path. So let's just tap in just a little bit into that emotional energy, because I feel like that's a huge factor right now, especially for women, because men can kind of turn off their emotions a little bit more, but let's not leave them out of it. But for women, it's a lot to take on. You're cooking all day, and then you're doing this and you're doing that. I mean, like I said, I've been there, so I built up that resistance against it, but it was a long time for me to get used to that. It wasn't an overnight shift. So how can we help, just give a little golden nugget on, the emotional energy that's going on right now in the world?
I love that you're touching on all these important pieces. Yeah. So,
Hey,
yeah, I would, emotions. Yeah.
right.
So, emotions. We are taught that feelings come through and we can't really do much about them. We're not taught how to work with our feelings. So, so honoring feelings that come through. Right now, we have a lot of, you know, uncertainty. There's fear, there's grief. All that stuff needs to be honored, period. So let's just say we're doing that. We're honoring what is. Then, in addition to that, we get to choose how we want to feel. I'm not saying that every feeling is a choice, because we can't choose every feeling, but we can keep our being directed to to how we want to feel. Like we can get up in the morning and say, today I want to feel joy. Today I want to feel like I'm on fire for my work. And we know wherever you put your attention, energy goes. So if you program yourself to how you want to feel, then you start to align with that feeling. And so choosing how you want to feel and putting it out there is the first piece. The second piece is finding opportunities or creating them, making opportunities where you bring up some joy in your body. And that can be done. I know for me, I pull out if I'm feeling low, or even if I just randomly want to do it, I pull out my phone and I find a song that makes me dance.
Okay.
And that brings up joy. And then, like that, I've shifted energy. And that within that, I've brought on a feeling that I want to be feeling. And I'm also creating a pathway in my brain where I can shift things quickly. So, those I think would be the two things that I would suggest for managing and doing, working with our feelings. Decide how we want to feel, and then practice changing our feeling in the moment.
Yeah, those are just awesome. I love that. They're very simple and specific, and that's what we need right now because people think I got to read 50 books to do this. You really don't, right? You just need to show up every morning and put in 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. Just start. The process is starting the awareness, and that's what we're bringing to you today is that awareness of your power and your courage. And this will be the last little thing that we get into. And then we'll share, all the ways that we can reach out to you and, get your message out to more people. And I feel like this is the most important, the courage, right? And I like to call it rebel courage. And I was just like, where can, like something that gives you goosebumps, right? Because I listened to this one little clip on courage and I was like, oh my God, I got goosebumps. I'm that's it. We're missing courage. We're missing the courage to actually speak our truth. It could be as simple as saying no to something instead of offering all these yeses up every time. If you don't have the time energetically to give, then you say no, because then that's going to give you the power to have the courage. But courage is something that I think we have been missing on this planet for a long time. There's a lot of people out there that have it, but we definitely need to expand on courage a little bit more. And, just your perspective on courage would be good. If you want to share that, that would be awesome.
Oh my gosh, there's so much here. um,
Right?
as you're talking, and I'm thinking about courage, I'm thinking about boundaries. Permission to draw a boundary that says, yes, I want more, or no, I don't want any more. Yes, I'll go with you. No, I won't. I think courage and boundaries are connected. Um, And when I think of courage, in addition to boundaries, I think of the warrior energy, the energy that just keeps you going and moving and going forward. And some of us have a lot of warrior energy, and some have less warrior energy, and we have more of another energy. I think it's time to pull up the warrior energy. And when I say warrior, I don't mean like wielding swords. I mean like really accepting the mission, up for the task, gonna move it forward. That kind of energy. The warrior, wise warrior, as I like to call it.
Oh yeah, I love that. I love the wise warrior. That sounds awesome. And then that's true with the boundaries and your courage because there's so many times just talking in reference with a woman or a person, and for some reason they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "You didn't do anything wrong. Do not apologize." And we find that that is our way of going, but there's different ways. Instead of saying, "Sorry, I'm late," "I'm so glad you waited for me. Thank you." And that shift is it's very subtle, but when you're aware of it, it builds that courage, right? Planting the seed. And we kind of leave our boundaries open because we feel like we're going to hurt someone's feelings by saying, yeah. But the apology is definitely, I feel like a thing. Like right now, people are probably apologizing for like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that but you can't always apologize for everything in life because that's dwindling your energy also. Does that like kind of resonate
Yes.
a little bit? Yeah.
Apologies that are not necessary, and a lot of apologies that we do are not necessary, give our power away. We give our power away. And so I love that, what you're saying. I think about people when they are in the supermarket, and if they're in somebody's way or someone's trying to pass, if I'm passing someone in the supermarket, someone will say, I'm sorry. And they don't need to say, I'm sorry, you didn't do anything wrong. I think, excuse me, can I get by? Or something else other than I'm sorry. It definitely drains our energy to say that when it's not, we don't need to be saying it all the time.
Yeah. And that's so true. And the reason I said that, because like I said, I do get messages, and I'm sure, Bridget gets a lot of messages too. It's because we've opened up, but we've done the work. But it's great to find time just to be quiet so you can hear. But what we're trying to do for you is just plant this seed, right? The seed of courage, the seed of empowerment, the seed of strength. And that positive alone is not going to get you there, but you have to take actions, right? So that means getting up and doing the work every day, putting in the energy to feel good about yourself. And that's a choice. And every day we choose. And you've been, maybe a lot of people have been choosing to drive to work every day, and now you don't have to. So maybe you want to choose a different route on your lifestyle and your performance and what you're creating for your family. So I would love for you, Bridget, to just let everyone know, like, how could they reach out to you? Do you have like anything, like your website or your social medias? And that way they may want to reach out, and I'll put everything down in the information too after this is over.
Thank you. Absolutely. I have a lot of offerings. I think the easiest way to connect with me is I have a Facebook group that's called Awaken Your Medicine, and I offer trainings in there. I've been going in every morning and offering a live brief meditation to get us focused for the day. So Awaken Your Medicine Facebook group is a great way to connect. The website is Spirit Works Healing Arts. And that's a great way to get more information too. I think either of those ways are good. If anyone is interested in doing one-on-one work, I always offer a free breakthrough session to find out if we're a good fit for working together. So folks can reach out for that too. Thank you.
Awesome. That is so amazing. I just want to say thank you for your time. I truly, truly appreciate you coming on today. Like I said, the world definitely needs to shift. We need to shift out of that because fear is a controlling energy, and we want to be in the higher levels in love and joy, and that starts within. So, like I said, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. And I will make sure that all of that information is down in, the Facebook page and anywhere I go and post, and when I do this on YouTube. I also want to thank anyone that was listening. If you do have any questions, I know it's early and people are doing things, but we'll have this up all day. I will go back and try to answer, or, shift it over to Bridget. But I want to say thank you again for being here. And if you need anything, I always say to the whole world out there, just ask for help, right? There's always going to be help around you. And we want to try to save as many souls or as many energy as we can. And that's why we're on this planet, to share our knowledge with you. And sometimes you need to do that work to research what's going to work for you first. So when you do that, then you'll be more aware and more open to receiving everything that's out there in this world. So once again, my name is Carrie Morgan, and this is Brighid Murphy. So I will put all the information down in the comments right after this. And I want to say thank you again for listening. I'm your holistic lifestyle mentor, and we are sharing courage and also expansion on your wealth and your mindset going forward in 2020. Is there anything else, Bridget, you want to share? Is there any golden nuggets that you thought maybe that came to you and it was just like, let me share them?
Well, I want to thank you, Carrie, for having me. I've really enjoyed this conversation. And I want to remind everyone that every day is a new opportunity to choose to run your own show.
Awesome. Exactly. Run your own show. I love that, right? Because people are sitting here watching these reality shows when they need to be running their own reality, right? So if
Yeah.
we can do that, it's all good, right? We got this. We'll work this out. We'll shift the energy higher than we ever had it before. And I think that's what we really need to do on this planet right now is, connect deeper and go harder for yourself and for your family right now, right? Because no one's going to save us. We've got to save ourselves. I think that's what we forget, right?
That is truth.
Awesome. Namaste, everyone. Thank you again for being here. I'm going to shut all this down.